as you folks already know, the 90-day streets do not sleep. And now we're going to update you guys of the things that have been happening in the last 24 hours, okay? Now, we're going to begin with Shekinah. Now, for some of you may or may not know, in our last two previous videos, we spoke about the war between Shekinah and Sarper and TLC, as well as also Paula. But then the beef between Paula and Shekinah then carried over. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But I can tell you this now, Paula definitely was putting Shekinah in her place. Now, here's the thing though, Shekinah is somebody that never ever stays silent. Now, she seems to be talking about something else, but this is still regarding people from the show. So she's saying that people in my DMs keep asking why I wasn't upset that Sarper looked up Kara's photos, and the simple answer is he didn't. I remember correctly, this man categorically sitting there and saying that he knows every single caption, pretty much for the most part, that is written in her description when it comes to Kara's promos to her OF account. Because he kept saying every single one of them is talking about your butthole. For him to know that, it means that he's on her page to consistently see it. Or her page is literally on his algorithm to see all the time. He's always checking her out. Now, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to have his way to, find her. It doesn't mean he's going to have his way to pay for her account to see whatever she uploads. But at the same time, though, it still doesn't mean that he hasn't gone into the dark web of just trying to find any leak ones. But either way, though, the fact that he knew so much and he was the most vocal person at the table, and she wants to sit there and believe that this man didn't know. But she claims that apparently Patrick is the one that showed it to him and Russ, according to what I was told. Interesting enough, though, when it came to Between the Sheets, when Russ was even asked about the idea of seeing someone's pictures, especially when it comes to the rear end, he was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to see that. Why would you do that? So I'm a bit weird. I'm a bit confused why she mentioned Russ in this conversation when Russ probably said that he didn't want to see anyway. But anyway, we continue here by saying I haven't seen them and I don't care. I don't control Sarper. I just watch his choices and more accordingly. It's interesting as always, Patrick did say that Kara does remind him of an ex. That's why Kara is no longer his type, because of an ex he was with before. I mean, I don't know how that makes sense. I was with an ex and because she was this way, now she's not my type. Mentally, I can understand, but physically, your physical attraction to someone doesn't change based on how they behaved. It's going to stay the same regardless. So the question really is here, and this is the question that matters most. Did Patrick look up Kara? Well, here's the funny part though. Between the Sheets, there was a conversation between Patrick and G. And he said that my family members have come across these photos. And Patrick was like, what? Wait, what happened? They've come across the photos? In that conversation, Patrick didn't look like he had any idea of the fact that, there were these photos necessarily leaked online. Now, I'm not saying he didn't have an idea, but his reaction said that. So my point being is that Between the Sheets is filmed after The Last Resort. So if Patrick looked confused in that, the only time I can imagine Patrick would have shown these pictures to Russ and Sarper would have been whilst they were there at The Last Resort. But hey, the thing that the key thing for me personally was when she said, I haven't seen them and I don't care to. I don't control Sarper. So the fact that she ends it with saying I don't control Sarper and also keeps his name in lowercase, which is quite fascinating because Patrick and Russ's name is an uppercase for the beginning, which is also quite interesting to be fair. Attention to detail, folks. It tells me that she probably does know that Sarper went out of his own way to search up Kara, to look at these images, and probably has Kara on notifications on his IG. That's how he knows every single bloody caption that she makes anyway. But of course, she doesn't want to show a sign of weakness. That's why she's looking to protect Sarper while trying to throw other people under the bus. And ironically, the two people that she decided to throw under the bus are the husbands of who? One being Thais, and we know that Shekinah and Thais do not like each other. And two being Russ. But we also know that, guess what? Paula and Shekinah don't get along. So I do find it quite interesting how she's used two names as a scapegoat when those two names are in relation to two women that she does not like and do not like her back. So if you ask me, I think she knows that Sarper looked into them. But she's just trying to, look strong. But hey, you may see things differently, folks. You may see things differently. So please do let me know your thoughts on that. But also, we're going to move on to Sarper himself. So Sarper is somebody right now that has been under, a lot of fire when it comes to the way he talks to Shekinah and the way he talks about women. And people are really starting to recognize who this man really is. And to be honest with you, I don't know why people are starting to recognize it, because Sarper's never been a nice dude from the very beginning. From the very moment that we met Sarper on our TV screens, we said to ourselves, wow, this guy does not respect women in any shape or form. The way he talks about women, the way he talks to women, everything about him is just uckers. But of course, over time, Shekinah has kept the same energy of being a BICTH pretty much in a nutshell. Meanwhile, Sarper has done this thing on screen where he's turned things around by making people believe that he's a funny guy, that he's a nice guy, he's not that bad. So people have been blind about who this man truly is. This man is nothing but a con artist. To be honest with you, Sarper, in my opinion, is far worse than Shekinah. What Shekinah does is minor business because it's in your face. What this man does is very sly. And then when you trigger him, it breaks. And what happens when it breaks? All of a sudden, you see him on stage saying this, that, and other about his relationship with his wife, or this, that, and other about women. Takes this whole thing into a whole situation where people think that this guy is funny when he's not. But point being is that look what happened here. Someone came into the comment section, someone came into his DMs, and they simply said to him, "Boo, get off stage. You're not even funny. You're gross and disgusting to me. Don't know what Shekinah even saw in you. You're totally ugly and nothing to look at." And then he obviously likes to expose this person by saying, "This is calling me ugly." Now, don't get me wrong. Is he granted to give a response in terms of obviously exposing somebody that is pretty much telling him that he's gross, that he's disgusting, and he's ugly? Some people may say, yeah, he should definitely expose people that are in his DM saying things that they shouldn't be saying. But then some people may say, well, the fact that he's choosing to entertain and respond to it tells us that maybe it tells us more than ever this is a man that is very insecure and feels the need to put other people down to be able to pick himself up. Because look at it this way, anytime he has been called out by either cast members or he's been called out by Shekinah, we know that he's always ready to play dirty. If you track back, folks, any tell-alls, you see whenever Sarper is always confronted by other cast members, he's ready to say things that he shouldn't be saying. Okay, but either way though, for me personally, when it comes to this situation of him exposing this random follower who decided to say this not even that much of a bad comment, to be honest with you, then he felt the need to go out of his way to obviously embarrass her. Really? Was it really needed? But hey, you may see things very differently, folks, so please do let me know. But I also do wonder though, if it had been a man in his DM saying these things, would he have exposed the man? I do wonder that though. Now, listen, folks, we're now going to move on to the next one, and this one's all about Jasmine and Gino. Now, we know, as of yesterday, the divorce is final. The only thing that we didn't know is how did the divorce work in Gino's favor? Well, we finally have those details. But before that, this is what Jasmine had to say yesterday, first, after everything came out. She said, "Hey guys, my ex is trying very hard to get extension using me. I have no idea why I read that wrong. Let me start again. I do apologize. Hi guys, my ex is trying very hard to get extension using me because he got fired from TV. If you're a true fan / friend of mine, please don't send me anything he's saying about me. I don't care, and I have big things and amazing news coming soon. You're all gonna hear it from me and Matt." So the good news is that Jasmine doesn't want anything to do with Gino anymore moving forward, which means she obviously does not want to have his name in her mouth ever again. And that's something that I'm definitely going to hold her to, because Jasmine is somebody that says one thing, but they can also contradict herself. So I really hope that she's never going to mention this man again, because that would be beautiful. And I hope he's going to do exactly the same thing. But since the divorce has come out, Gino has been posting on his social media account left, right, and center. Look guys, the divorce is over. Look guys, the divorce is over. Look guys, the divorce is over. I'm like, well, buddy, we know. You don't have to keep reminding us. But hey, let's move on though. So this is the details that we've been given here as an update regarding Jasmine and Gino's divorce. So Jasmine immigration status and divorce case. Gino has filed an immigration fraud case against Jasmine. This is what happened. She did not get her 10-year green card when she renewed. I'm sure a lot of people are happy to hear this information, right? Also continues it by saying that she only got a 4-year extension. Interesting. That could be taken away at any time based on their investigation. Jasmine also lost in divorce court. Gino does not have to pay any kind of to her. Does that mean any money to her, any kind to her? Either way, it doesn't pay anything. That's the bottom line. Jasmine has several attorneys hired and said Gino's lawyer gave them a lot of headaches. Jasmine said, I love my lawyers so much. They're cute and smart and they love me, and explains why she needed more than one. The divorce was finalized, of course, 2 days ago on June 25th of 2026. But let's get into the swipes. As you can see here, this is a picture of Jasmine saying, I love my lawyer so much. Obviously, there's more than one lawyer here. Then there's also the lawyer that she promoted the most. And this is, I believe this is obviously her immigration attorney. Then this video here that you're about to watch is the video that Jasmine posted soon after the divorce was finalized.
Good morning, sweethearts. Wishing everyone a beautiful day. I don't know, like some people were saying like, why? Oh my gosh, I have to fix this wig. I was in a meeting, sorry. Why are you calling your liars cute? Because they are cute, they are amazing, and yes, I'm paying for them. Opposite from the person I'm divorcing that is getting it for free, and you can tell the quality of lawyer he has gotten. It's giving us a lot of headache because that person is not even a family law lawyer. With that being said, my lawyers, I'm paying with my money. With my money, yes, I didn't ask anyone, but it's my money, and no math, nobody's my money. And they are professional and they study for years. They deserve to get paid. Why not, you know? And they are cute. And if my lawyers are cute, I'm gonna call them cute because they're being there for me. And there are certain things that, you know, is the human side of them beside being a client-lawyer relationship, you know, like you can tell that they love their profession and they care about their clients, and that makes them freaking cute. So if I want to call them cute, I'm gonna call them cute as many times as I want. Good morning, sweethearts. Wishing everyone a beautiful day.
Well, that was entertaining, wasn't it? Rather riveting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's talk about that video real quick. Did you notice the slowness of her tone, the slurredness of her tone, the way her voice was crackling? It feels to me as if this woman may potentially just drank a whole lot of liquor before making this video. Maybe she wasn't happy with the results, so therefore she felt the need to drink, and then maybe drinking then made her put in a position where she then felt the need to make a video talking about her lawyers. To be honest, I didn't play the video because of the conversation or because of the lawyers and all that kind of mumbo jumbo. I showed it more because I wanted to show how she was behaving. I mean, the wig was absolutely something else. And then the slurring and everything, and then the mug. I reckon that mug probably has like coffee or something to help cool her down. Or it may still have some more alcohol. But either way, though, it seems to me, by that video itself in particular, Jasmine doesn't seem to be recovering very well from the result from this divorce. Either way, though, it is quite funny, though, because Jasmine and Angela have been two of the most hated women on 90 Day Fiance history. And both of them have lost quite badly in their divorce case. And both of them, throughout the whole thing, were speaking highly as if they were going to win the whole thing. And then this happens. Do you know what that shows us, folks? Just because somebody comes online and shows themselves in a way that says that they're winning, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're winning. And Jasmine is obviously proof of that here in this situation, as well as also Angela Deem. But either way, the question that I have for you folks is, are you happy that Gino won? Or you preferred if it was Jasmine that won this divorce case? That is the golden question, isn't it, folks? But hey, now we're going to move on to the next one. Now, this one is all about Elise. Now, Elise is somebody that, you know, when it comes to 90 days, she's somebody that definitely likes to always show off this very slim build, okay, when it comes to her body, when it comes to her physique. But sometimes people take things too far. And when I say people take things too far, I don't mean necessarily by being on Ozempic or Mounjaro or any kind of jab that people are now taking, even though they don't need to take it anymore. I'm talking about when people then feel the need to even edit their videos or pictures. Now, of course, this is something that we have always been accustomed to for over years and years and years, where we have seen so many people come online and for some bizarre reason always feel the need to do what? To Photoshop their images. This is quite disappointing, and the crazy thing about it, it really exposes more and more how somebody is so insecure within themselves. Now, we know she's somebody who prides on herself by being as slim as anything else, so much to the point that her ribs always pop in. I mean, listen, folks, I worry that one day, if not, she may even be there right now. She may even reach those anorexic levels, which are not healthy in any shape or form. But either way, it doesn't change the fact that this woman is always going to be the way she is, and it's just sad that she goes as far as also using Photoshop to even edit her videos because her waist isn't slim enough, even though her waist is literally slim. I'm pretty sure that if I was standing next to Elise right now, I could wrap my own arm around her and pick her up like that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, because the girl's like, if I'm looking at, but yeah, boy, I'd 100% pick her up with one hand. But either way, the photoshopping is now the next level. It's crazy, but it's not even the next level. It's the original level. That's how it used to always be, the Photoshop. But it's crazy that Photoshop, filters, and so many things are advancing in today's world, where it's putting certain people, and I find most of the time to be predominantly women. It's so sad. And it's crazy because I was talking about this conversation yesterday, you know, regarding when it comes to weight loss. And I was saying that it's interesting how weight loss affects women differently compared to men. You know, when women get to a point where they finally lose the weight they need to lose, and they get to that number that they were looking for, all of a sudden, that number is not good enough. All of a sudden, and especially in today's society, it gets worse. When people get to the number they were supposed to get to, they panic that they may lose track. So what happens? People are now buying off the books jabs, off the books skinny jabs, as we call it here in the UK, whether it be Manjaro or Ozempic or whatever, you know. And it's sad. It's sad because I really want to understand. Ladies, please let me know. Because for men it's different. Don't get me wrong. For us men in particular, when we lose weight and we get to a certain point, we're not satisfied. We'll still nitpick just like you do, but we just won't nitpick to the point we start thinking, okay, we need to continue jabbing more, or we need to continue starving ourselves more. You know, we figure out a balance somewhere down the line, because I guess with men, we look for solutions to figure things out somewhere down the line. Women, on the other hand, it's not always the case. There are some women who do find it, and there's a lot of people who don't, that they will continue fasting, they'll continue jabbing, they'll continue doing these things, even though they are now the weight that they was originally looking for, but now that weight is not good enough. They now need to get to the next one. Okay, all of a sudden, you know, that friend that used to go out for meals with doesn't come out no more. You know what I mean? Because doesn't want to go for meals anymore. You know, so I've always wondered, why is it women struggle so much more, from what I've seen, when it comes to getting to a weight and being happy with it, or being satisfied with it, or being okay, this is a good weight, let me just maintain this. And I've always said the maintaining stage is always the hardest part of anything when it comes to our bodies. But for some people, maintaining gets to the head. They think, oh, but what if I have this burger today? Oh, I may put on too many pounds. Do you see what I'm saying? But let me know. If you've ever been in that position, please let me know what goes through your mind. What puts you in this position where you just, where enough is not enough for you? You know what I mean? But with that being said, though, please do let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. We'll see you lovely peoples in the next video. Please don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, and of course, comment. Thank you so much for your time.